Welcome to In My Opinion 4, Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Z. The story stars Yaiba, a foul-mouthed, quick-to-anger ninja who gets killed by Ryu Hayabusa. Brought back to life as a cyborg by Forge Industries, his goal is to find and kill Ryu Hayabusa, while cleaning up the zombie mess he's been thrown into. The story is just kinda there, nothing really memorable or that interesting. The game plays itself like a comedy, mainly lowbrow. Now I'm not one to look down on such comedy, but I only got a few chuckles, mainly from the zombies. I tried to like Yaiba, but he was so uninteresting. I felt like he was one of those toys where you press a button and it would say a random curse word. It kind of felt like he was gaining a bit of a personality by the end, but at that point it was too late to care. There are other characters that talk to Yaiba, like a big-breasted scientist Miss Monday, and Yaiba's new boss, Del Gonzo. They actually seem to have more of a personality than him, so I don't mind when they pop up to chat.
And it would force me to reveal that the power cord keeping you alive has a kill switch I can activate at any time.
Even though it bears the Ninja Gaiden name, it doesn't really play like it. But that doesn't mean it can't be fun. You'll be hacking and slashing through 7 stages against zombies with 3 main weapons: your sword, fist, and arm whip, each helpful for different reasons. The sword for more up-close quick attacks, fist for slow but powerful strikes, and whip for long distance attacks. You do get other temporary weapons from certain types of zombies, such as nunchuck arm and an electric whip. What's also pretty neat is that combining the attacks from these weapons can activate a chemical reaction, such as stealing enemies in a biocrystal. Later on you unlock Yaiba's bloodlust mode. Just build the meter on the upper left by killing blocks of zombies, then activate it. This will make you invincible and stronger for a while, letting you go all out. There's even some good old bloody executions in the game. Just keep smashing the zombies, and when they give a big exclamation sign, hit the button and enjoy the violence. You even get the ability to do multiple executions. Not only is it satisfying to see, it's helpful as doing this makes the zombies drop health. You also may notice 3 symbols under your health bar. This represents bio, electric, and fire. Getting hit a certain amount of times with those type of attacks will cause a negative effect, such as shorting out your arm.
Overloads your core and disables your arm abilities. Use your graphite polymer chain attacks to avoid electrocution.
There is platforming in the game. I know you must be thinking, God, why, since the platforming sections in the Gaiden games are freaking terrible, but to my surprise the game does it right, and it's fun. It doesn't feel clunky and stiff. You can fail them, but it doesn't get frustrating since you don't really get punished for it. You start from exactly where you failed, you don't lose health, and it doesn't count as a death. At most, what you lose is time. There's a good amount of these sections in the game, and each time I actually enjoyed them.
Most impressive.
You can also find secrets during your gameplay, such as health upgrades, elemental resistance upgrades, and story pieces, which are just journal entries with a bit of comedy. If you miss any, don't worry, there's a stage select that tells you what you missed and you can go back and get it. Heck, you didn't have to finish the stage after getting it. There's also little puzzles in some of the stages, though nothing too complicated. While playing through a stage, you may notice you get ranks for each section. This is because after beating the stage, you're ranked on the items you found, times you died, the section ranks, and how long it took you to beat a stage. It all gets tallied up for an overall rank and some experience points. Speaking of that, there is a little level up system in the game. You can spend your new points on unlocking such things as more combos and increasing durability of weapons. Once you're done with the game, arcade mode unlocks. The epic tale for this is that Yaiba is off to get his missing sake, and that's it. It presents itself like an old school beat 'em up. You have a certain number of lives to make it through 4 stages. It still plays the same, just with a different viewpoint and no executions. Even though this has a Ninja Gaiden name, it's a spin-off, so I'm okay with trying something a bit different. What I'm not okay with is a shitty counter system. Yeah, in this game you can counter, but it's so freaking useless that you don't even want to use it, as it may result in your death, which is a big blow to the game, as having a functioning counter system would allow the combat to flow much better and make the experience more fun. Instead, he's just dashing around like crazy. There were so many moments when I told myself, man, I wish I could count on the countering. This force sticks out even more when there are certain points where countering is almost mandatory to get past certain sections. But since it's so undependable, you end up dying. A lot. Which turns to frustration, which then turns to you screaming at the game to fucking work. The only time it has a greater chance of working is with projectiles, and even then it's still very wonky. The game has a nice cel-shaded look to it. It's colorful and doesn't come off looking dull. Not to mention the different zombies are weird looking, but in a good way. Every time we are introduced to a new one, the game lets it show itself off.
I'll pass.
Most of the cutscenes are presented in a comic book form, with very few movie cutscenes. The voice acting is also nicely done. Even after the personality complaint I gave about Yaiba, he still sounds pretty good, as do the rest of the cast.
I doubt her magical act can figure out what Compound 72 really is or where it's from. We sure as hell can't.
There are times though that the game sound effects would just cut out completely. And once in a while I would get stuck for no reason, resulting in my death no matter what. We also have moments where the frame rate drops, but I didn't run into that problem often. Also, like any Ninja Gaiden game, the camera can easily become one of your enemies. With some presentation issues and a craptastic counter system, this game clearly could have used some more time to cook. There is still some fun to be had, it's just mixed up with frustration. The game is also rather short. I was able to beat it in just a few hours. Let's not forget the lead is rather dull for the most part, though the humor the game presents was a bit funny at times. There is replayability such as collecting everything, trying harder difficulties, and going through the arcade mode. You can even use 2 new outfits you unlock. This game could have been so much better, but as it is, it's just decent at best. I hope you enjoy my thoughts on this game, and for gamer's sake, keep gaming.